Hello everyone, welcome to the session 4. Can I please get a raise of hands to know that you're on the other side? You can hear me correctly. There you go. We will though wait another 2 minutes. We have another participants to join us. So we'll start exactly in 2 minutes. Okay, great. So again, welcome to the newcomers, and we gather here for the session 4, like every Monday and Thursday, in the same hour. And today we'll talk mainly about measurement tools. But what else we have today from the previous session? We have to talk also about the task and project management, the task and project module, in which we didn't have enough time this week to talk about. Let me see a second. And our experts are in the chat and in the question. That means that you can ask questions during the lesson that you want. And let's start. We have here the course book for the measurement tools, but I will skip over it. Why? Because I'll go over the Sysaid to talk about the task and project management. As you can see here, is a module. In Sysaid, you know, all the modules that you have, task and projects, a specific module. Now, what is the idea of the module? It's basically Sysaid gives you a chance to not only deal with the two main modules, which are, first of all, the asset management and the help desk, but also small tools and everything that will help you to give you a 100% coverage in everything that you have to do on your day-to-day basis. And the modules that we've created in Sysaid is the task and projects. Actually means that when you have to work on a specific task or a project, if it's to implement a new software or a new server, change or upgrade, any project and task that you might have to perform in your department, then here is a small module, very, very powerful, that will help you to manage all the resources and time and have a chance to visualize the specific project that you have to do in using different tools. We have here two main entities, which are projects and which are tasks. A project is a title, okay? It is form, it is an entity. In actually, a project is composed by a lot of different tasks. For example, here's an example that we saw the previous session, which is application implementation. We have a specific application that we want to implement. The title is Migrate to New ERP System. We have to migrate to a new ERP. That is exactly the project that we have to do, and that project also will have different tasks. The manager is Brad Pitt. The status is implementation. That means the status is being implemented already, or that means that we already started the implementation. The start time, the end time, the requester, if you have a specific group, the total task estimation in hours, and the calculated progress. So all of these small references you can always open and see where your project is ending and gather information about it and always learn and add in resources or print to export anything that you want to do. Now we have a small pass in here that open it, then all tasks will automatically be shown here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tasks. In order to implement to migrate to a new ERP system, first of all, you have to install the new ERP on the test server, migrate copy of data from the existing system, run tests on a pilot group, train the users on the new system, install the new ERP, and migrate the copy of data from the existing system to the new one. Each one of them has the same columns in here. In this case category, we're talking about test, support, installation, implementation. The status of it, in this case, we have 3 tasks where we're finished, when they started and when they finished, and the estimation, 2 hours, 6 hours, 48 hours, run tests on the pilot group, progress, those are 100%, and this one, 80%, that means that we are in progress, okay, of 4th, which is training the new users. Total task time, okay, the users, okay, which are linked. In this case, for training, we have 1 to be more than 1 user which linked. So in order to create a new project, you will have to first create tasks, okay? So let's open the project itself by clicking here, project, and see the form of the project. Here you write the title, the category, okay, of the project itself. If it's a project of upgrade, changing everything in the infrastructure, integration, test, application, implementation. Now, the list category of projects can be easily changed, can customize. Talk about it in the next session with the customization. And then the status, okay, all status can be changed. The start time and the end time of the project itself, and raw estimation of how much time do you give a hint about how much time do you think you estimate that the project will take. A project manager, if we need a group, and total task estimation, that means according to each one of the tasks. So according to all of the tasks, we need 130 hours, but we estimated 120 hours. So after finishing the task, you can actually see how much time you actually spent in each task, makes the total calculation of that, and then you see according to your estimation how much time difference you have. Description, okay, description of the project itself. This is new ERP system which has an upgrade, and you can form different features and so on and so forth. Tasks, all of the tasks that we have linked in here. The best way to do it is from the task side link to a project. That'll be easier than linking a task from a project. You can from here even create new tasks. This is actually the windows we see here under task. Exactly, you can see it in here. You can create tasks, move them around. I think we can screen select it. We can put also the tasks and so on. We see the history, okay, from the project itself. If you change the hours that you estimated for the project from 100, 120, then you'll see the first estimation, for example, here has been added to repeat. Estimation changed to 112, and the row estimation changed to 120. Okay, the project's changed, so I can open here and see that migrate implementation. That means a new task was actually added, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see here the history, and then have a graphical and visualize way to see the graph. Okay, for all people knowing about project management, one of the most comfortable ways to see different tasks is visualizing the task. Okay, so we can see all of them. We can see by this, the 5th was performed 100%, 100%. The run test pilot already finished. Here we are in 80%. Train the users. That we have to finish the task before the specific date. And here we have 2 dates which are 0%. Now, according to the hours that a project might take, of course, that the length of the line, of the line itself actually changes. And here a small colored line which actually refers to dependency. That means that this task not be performed if this task was not finished. Okay, this is something very important to know about project management. Okay? Sometimes you have tasks that can be that you can start if the previous one was not finished. In this case, they have dependency. Now we'll see in a minute how dependency comes to practically here in the system, how it looks. For example, if we want to change the end date of one of the dependencies, then the one linked to it then will change. If you want to change the hours, then automatically the start date of the next one will. So we'll show you in a minute how to make dependencies and how they look like in the systems. Notifications, okay? You can receive notifications regarding a specific project, okay? If we go to notification, here we can see that we have a reminder before the due date, which is a notification for the for the tasks, and we can link any related items in case that we have either service requests, or users or any entities that you want to select. In this case, we have linked a service request ID 9, which is add hard drive, which someone added in here, was created by Joseph Sarari. Okay, we have the link for the project itself. What we have here, we have tasks themselves. Okay, we can see here the list of tasks, the list of all the tasks. And if I open a specific task, then the window looks quite the same. Okay, the general setting difference between them. We have a here task dependency. In this case, we don't have each one of them dependent. For example, the dependency that means this one is not finished, then the migrate copy to data from the existing system won't open. Okay. Start end, start to start. That means when this one starts, then the next one will be linked to end. Okay, end to end to start. You can select the type of dependency that you want. Estimation hours, and the progress in this case was 100%. After you finish, you change and save. The description, then here also we have a difference, which are the linked users themselves. The project only have a link to the project manager in the general details. Here you can add as many users as you want, and also the roles that you can assign to one of them. Yes, this can be customized, everything that you see in here, so don't worry, and you can adapt it according to your organization. Activities, okay, how much time it took to do a specific thing. Not necessarily task will be one activity. We can have, for example, in migrating information from one point to another, we can have different activities, okay? And in that case, the time, for example, total time of installing new ERP is checking the license keys. That takes me exactly 15 minutes, so add here. In order to install, we have to check the licenses. Okay, we click add, and we have 15 minutes, which are used by the first activity. In that case, it is recommended in the first time that you implement a specific project to detail every activity. So in case you will know how much time it takes to the real time, and not to have a raw estimation or performing a specific task. So after you already know all the activities that every task takes, then you can calculate a specific agreement, okay, OLA, which is an internal level agreement of the departments, and you can have an order time, know according to resources that you have how much time it takes to actually install an ERP, okay. Maybe you have permissions to access the laboratory, and that takes time from the security department, so on and so forth. So the first thing to do in the first project that you implement is detail every operation that you will perform and to gather the real time that it takes. Also, history of the task itself, of course, that we'll see here in the history that a new activity was actually added. We'll click in history again. Here the task has changed. That was actually now it was not saved. Notification here. Now we'll talk about notification, but here is where you select the notification that you want to trigger. Now you have different type of notifications. We talked about also in the previous session. Go to notification here. You can create a new notification and say, for example, that I want to send a service request that will be task completed successfully. What's completed? Okay, the service request should look like this from a category which will be ERP and other modules. Click OK. I changed it. I have here one new notification. So if I go to tasks to migrate ERP, then I select that when the task actually finished, then send once. Now we can actually trigger the notification to see if it works correctly. We will receive a service request saying the task actually was completed. And in order to do it, you have to enable the notifications. Trigger the notifications from the task side or from the project side. That means only one notification when the project finishes. That will be in the last task. We can have reoccurring tasks in which we'll talk about them. For example, we'll talk about them in a minute because I want to give you an example before that will help you with the maintenance, the reoccurring tasks. So we'll leave it aside in a second. And then the related items also service requests or any type of item that you want to relate to the task itself. And business impact, which we'll talk about in the next sessions, with part of this MDB, of the MDB side. Now, if I have here tasks, I'll discard the changes. I have here is 2 tasks which know that are dependent. If, for example, I have this task, and I want to change the end time won't be the 21st of September. That will be in the 23rd of September, and it will take me not 5 hours, maybe 10 hours. Okay. So if I click OK, then automatically I can see that the next one, which is dependent, has automatically the state changed to 23. Okay. Let me check again in order to show the end time of this project will be the 24. So if I click OK, I can automatically say that the next one will start at the 4th, which actually was changed. Okay. So also shows the dependency. I've added from 2 hours into 10 hours. So if I go to the project, I can see that the total task estimation is 138. It was 130 before, so we added another 8 hours. So in that case, we see that project all the time is being updated, which is actually great. We have also activities in here, which are the ones that I've inserted in here. We have separated them in the list. We can have activities which will be can be related to not only one task, but to a lot of different tasks, and select them from the list. Now, something interesting that we have implemented even in Sysaid in our company is having any task, okay, in order to give you a reminder, okay? For example, if I want to create a new task, I will call it backup, weekly backup, okay? Then I will select that the project is no project, okay, alone, okay, from no project. So I'll here the project not required, and then the status will be not started, and it will start and it will end exactly the same day, and have estimated 1 hour to finish it. And here I will go to notifications. I can under notifications select the task notification, enable the notification. Now, I reoccur, select to have, for example, every day at the same time, for example, at 6 p.m. Okay, under 6 p.m. I want to have this task already sending me notification. We can select notification every day at 6. It was not saved at, in this case, 12:20 at 12:06. Okay, so every a week, I will remember that every day I will have, in this is weekly backup, as you can see, weekly backup. So of course, every week on Sundays, okay, every week on Sunday happens, so I'll apply, and then I will give a notification regarding the task, okay? And you can create another task, any type of maintenance that you have to perform, and so on and so forth. You can do it from here, from the task management. Let me give another thing. You disable the notification here. You won't receive a notification, of course, but you create, for example, 5 tasks maintenance. One is the backup. The second one is checking the hard disk, checking the temperature. Any maintenance task that you have, you can link all of them to a project. For example, if I go here to generate this, to a project called maintenance project. Okay, in this case we have only one project. And if you go to project, then you can trigger the notification on the project side and receive one notification that you have to perform the maintenance, okay, instead of receiving from every task, as you want, okay? So you can actually create in the system any notification that you want via a specific task. It not necessarily has to be linked to a project or to another task, okay? So in that case, you'll receive service request notification, and you can change the category. For example, if I go to tasks, if I go to notifications, I can see that I have here, in this case, only one notification type. You can go to service details, and you can here change and create a category called maintenance. So you know that that service request was not received from an end user, was given internally for maintenance. You can even give them urgency or priority and have a specific text according to what you want that the description of the task to be performed. It's actually great. We'll learn about how to create categories in here in the next session. So that's for tasks and project management. We have here project settings. which mainly talk about the notifications. You can take the under help in here if you want to share who will be notified, the project manager, the users of a specific task if they change, and so on and forth. Okay, so that will be for the task and management. And now we can go and dive into our next topic, which is measurement tools. Now, measurement tools is the session 4th, and we talks a little bit about the different ways to measure. Measurement very, very important. Okay, if you don't have measurement tools, then you have no idea to know where you actually stand. Okay, and why measurements are important? First of all, measuring your work. You can if you come every morning, okay, at your office, and you want to know how actually your department actually standing, how many service requests are open and critical and first level. So at the first glance, having measurement tools, you can know what is the risk status or current status of departments regarding service requests, regarding how many assets you have. You want to know every morning how many assets you have, or how many users you have, or how many everything they want to know, everything they want to measure. So Sysaid provides tools in order to give you the information that will allow you to measure your work. And you have different type of levels of tools. You have tools with which can give you more visualized information, and you have tools which can give you more detailed information about specific things. You can enable and disable tools according to different troubleshooting tasks and projects performing. Most important is you have good measurement tools. You can address issues, okay? And in order to address issues, you have to first be aware of them. So in order to be aware of all the issues that your department may have, if we're talking about you're not always breaching the SA time, the service agreement. Say you have a lot of service requests which are open and takes a lot of time even, or a lot of different admins to close. It takes 5 admins to close service requests, for example. Things, specific problems that you see, and every department has its own specific problems. Not necessarily if you talk about, yes, IT department, but according to the industry, each one of them have a specific way to measure if they are good or they have to improve. So first of all, you can address your issue only if you're aware of them. The measurement tools not only give you, okay, a snapshot of what is happening, it gives you a lot of information in which will help you to analyze. Okay, analyzing the required information, from there you can understand what is happening, and it's very important to correctly analyze. Okay, don't abuse, okay, the system and send you a gazillion of documents and reports regarding the measurements. Focus on specific things that will help you in order to improve, or in order to address specific problems that you may have. That's why we talked about any longer disabling or and so on and so forth. That's why we always say that the why you need the tools of measurements is actually more important than the actual tools themselves. Okay, yeah, we have tools, we have measurement tools. You can visualize. Now we're talking beyond. Okay, we're talking about how to analyze it, why they're important, or how to take the maximum of Sysaid. Not even Sysaid, your department itself. Now you can show improvement after you make any change that you change. Even when we talked about session 2, your workflow, improving workflow, how you actually know, how you can actually, if something was improved. Measurement tools, okay? Measurement tools gives you the chance to compare between previous states and current state, okay? How everything looked last week and how everything looks this week, how it looks past year, and how it looks actually this year. So you can actually know if you are improving or your service level, your quality is decreasing or improving. So measurement tools. So you're asking yourself, okay, which measurement tools we have? Sysaid, okay? And it's important to know that, you remember this slide for workflow? This is the workflow here in Sysaid. You have it in your course book. So measurement tools, Sysaid can cover any aspect of the flow. If we're talking about a traffic of service requests, use channels, assets, okay? It's covering everything. We don't have a black or a spot in which we cannot measure according to time and give a specific Google, okay, in a specific point of flow that we gather information from, okay, different statistics and analyze the statistics. Course books, you haven't get them yet. Again, they are in the certification webpage, okay? You should know it by now. Here under certification, you have the session course book, and here the session course, and here the lesson 3 course book. So you just click in there, and you can download the course books, okay, to the link itself. So which tools we have Sysaid in order to measure? First of all, we divide all the tools into different layers. The first one is the low layer, and then we have more complex, more second layer of information. There's more information into the system. Now, some of first level measurement tools will get, in this case, more less or more specific or concise information regarding a specific thing. And if you have to drill down into a specific problem or measure a specific part in the flow, then we have the second level, the second layer tools. These tools will give you more and more and more and more information than these ones. These ones will give you something that you can trigger and enable. And you know what? Let's go even way one and select and go over each measure tool. The first one is reopen service counter. We have a counter which can enable in our lists to know how many times a service request was reopened. Okay, important measurement tool provides a count of how many service request gets reopened and reopened. A service request that gets reopened times could indicate a problematic service. I mean, if you see, for example, that a service request was open, was from close, that means from open class, that means open new to close, and then again open class 10 times, and this thing is not correct. It indicates, for example, uncompetitive end users, for example, those end users that are not satisfied from the service, so the problem was not solved, or a problematic asset. For example, if you get monitoring from a specific server and you solve the problem and you keep receiving it and it's reopening, that means that the asset itself is not working quickly. You have to drill down in the information and see how you can catch the asset and so on and so forth. So how this links the system? I'll go here to the system. I'll go to the service desk, and here with the list of all the service requests that we have. I'll put everything I have, and I'll go to customize view. Okay, and under customize view, this is the place about it in which you select the columns that you want to see in the list. The left ones are the available columns, and the right ones are the ones that you actually see in here. For example, if I take out the request time and the urgency and the description and the subcategory to the right, to the left side, then I'll click save, automatically the list will get shorter. Okay, that means we took all of them to the other side. So in this case, in order to see the counter, we go here into check for the reopen service request counter, reopen service request counter, put it in the last one, and we see in here that in this case, if we go all, let me see if we have more. 0 means that the service request got from state 2 to state close without reopening. Here we see that we have a reopen one, a specific service request which will close and then open again. You know what? I will reopen again the service request to show you that the counter will go up again. For example, this one. Send status to open again, and automatically we can see here that service request run away in the list. If we have a specific filter, I will take all the filters out. Then I'll click in reopen to know that sort reopen, and we even see here that here select to open again, and then it changed to number 2. So in this case, you can see here that we have a count 2 times the service request was open. Let me give you an example. We had a customer, we have a student that said, no, my end users in my company, when they send a service request and we close the request and we solve the problem persists or reopen again, we don't tell them to reopen the request. We have a note, a big note in the end user portal to tell them that if you have the same problem regarding a specific asset, open a new one. Okay, open a new service request, which is not good. Why? Because you're actually having more traffic for less problems. Okay, you're having a lot of traffic of service requests, a lot of different assigned admins, and you actually have less problems, less incidents, okay? So in this case, you keep the same incident and you can know the counter of how many times the chat was actually open. And having a lot of traffic, okay, and not having the same amount of traffic incident, which is quite hard to all the time keep the same, then you can, when you measure the reports and you have to assign the specific resources to your IT department, then you will have false data, okay, not false, but not accurate data. Okay, so the reopen counter, you can see at first sight how many times the request was reopened. We have another counter which also gives you information to measure, which is the reassigned service request counter. How many times service request was assigned to other person and to other person? So in this case, if we go again to customize view, we will go to the available columns and we'll select the column called reassign service request, which assigned counter. There you go. Save. Beautiful. So in here we see that the service request was actually assigned only once, or this was 0, means that in this case open. Okay. A service request cannot be closed if the assigned counter is 0, of course, because that means that, okay, in this case we see here that I have 4, okay, 4 assigned assigned admins to the service request. That means this counter can indicate for bound service requests. Okay, if you see, for example, that you have a specific problem which all the time is bouncing from one point to another and is reassigning, means that you have a specific issue. You have to address the issue. Maybe the dispatching is not correct. Okay, in the moment of the dispatching, the route rules that you have, maybe they are not correct for a specific category. So open the service request, try to analyze why it's all the time bouncing and bouncing. Maybe they are being assigned to in another department. That means it's reassigned when it's in status purchasing. Okay, it's in purchase department. So this counter will give you an indication about service requests which not common. Okay, they cannot change the locomotive that I talked about the lesson a lot of times. Maybe you have trained your IT technicians about. For example, if talking about ERP problems, they keep rebouncing, means you have trained maybe your admins regarding ERP problems and how to solve it, and so on and so forth. So these are too nice. They are not bothering us. We don't have to treat them. We don't have to schedule them. We don't have to. You can see in the list, okay, reopen counters and reassign counters. So you can all the time enable them and disable them anytime that you want. If I want to disable them, you know what to do. I'll go to the customize view and I will select both of them and send them back to the list. So in this case, no, they will be out of this. Okay, so once a week, I'll try to analyze and rate the service request and try to see why and which service requests are all the time being reopened or bounced from one point to another. Another interesting thing is something which is called support level, current and maximum support level. Here in Sysaid we have 2 support levels. Okay, we have the customer support. Okay, our support technicians, which if you have a specific problem in the help, then you call them or you send them an email and they solve the specific problems. And we have for more complex problems that they cannot solve or they want to recheck before solving, they send to the second support level, which is the R&D. We know it in support tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, 3.5. In this case, in Sysaid, we have different support levels. Knowing the support level, we can keep track of which service requests have escalated to higher support levels, check how far the service request went, and where is the ticket now, and build upon levels in escalations. So let's, everything that is written here is the system try to understand. First of all, we have counter, which is support level counter. So I'll go and I will trigger it from the customize view. I'll wait until the system reacts here. Support level counter. Well, actually, it's support level. Let's see, reopen counter. It is support level. I always forget the name. Escalation level. There you go. Escalation level. Okay. In this case, we can see here that the escalation level, this one, let me show all of them. We get that this one is 0. 0 is the support level, that means have been escalated never. Okay, and these ones are 1, means that is actually being the escalation rule reaches 1. We have another one. Hold on a second, that I wanted to show you. Which is max support level. Okay, there you go. And we can even gather more information regarding which current support level this places at. In this case, in Sysaid, we have 1 and 2. If is in the R&D, for example, move the service request to the second level, then the current support level 2. And the max support level, that means the maximum of escalation the service request actually reached. Okay. For example, in this case, we can see that all of these service requests that we see in the list, they were opened and closed in the first support level. It means no need for further R&D was actually being required for those. If I go to a specific service request, I'll open it, I will change the status to support level 2. Let's see if here level 2 support. Notes actually recommend purchasing. No, we don't have this in here. Activate, assigned to the admin groups mail. Let's see how we level 2 support. Support, let me see if that changes it. Invest environment. No, it haven't changed. In the case that we select level 2 support, then it will change from 1 to 2. Okay? That means that you can know here with an indication, for example, you can know that that service request has needed assistance from the R&D because it reaches the support level 2, and it is currently in the first support level, which is great, which is the one that we... Now, these two counters can indicate different things. For example, you can know at the first side how many service requests are currently being in support level number 2. Okay, that means that the R&D is taking care of them. Okay, you can also know how many service requests required R&D assistance. So if you actually know that 9% of your service requests coming into IT department require R&D assistance, means that you have a problem. You have trained more and more support technicians because they know how to perform the work. They don't have the technical knowledge in order to close the service from their level. Okay. Otherwise, if you have, for example, all of the service requests cleaned in first level, then you don't need technicians from the R&D on call, okay? Or you can take specific technicians into, to the R&D. In that case, you can see a picture about the different support levels. Now, these two pointers also can be open, enabled, and disabled, okay, the way that you want. There are small ones that you can have and see where actually they stand. You can even do another thing. We talked about escalations. You can create an escalation rule automatically to tell you notification that when a service request stays in stage number 2, in this case, as you can see, we don't have any service request which is currently being in support level number 2. No, we have other one number 1. If, for example, you have a service request more than 2 days in service level number 2, then change automatically the status to open and assign it to support number 1, okay, to have a specific escalation rule. If we go to the service desk settings, here we can see that if we go to escalation rule, we can see here create a new service request. I think we have one created. Escalation rule. We can create a new one. Support level. For all the agreements, third level categories, and everything that is in status, and all the statuses in any status, and is assigned to support level number 2. Is assigned to, actually, we need a group to support now 2. Then thing that is and is more than 24 hours, no, more than 48 hours in the requested time. Then we notify administrator and change the status to open again and reassign the server request to a specific person, for example, to Joseph Gary. Okay? An escalation. Now, how do you actually assign a group to be server support level number 1 or 2? Let me show you. If I go to user management, I go to groups, I create here any new group, and see here that we have a support level number 1, number 2, number 3, anything that you want. Okay, so in this case, you can carry, for example, here 1. Will be support level number 1, and this means will be part of it. Save. Then you can put another new group. It will be tier 2, and the support level will be 2, and all of them are assigned. Save. Okay? So in that case, you can know that support level number 1 and 2 can be escalated from one point to another. Okay? So in that case, you can deduce, according to the counter, how the service requests that are coming to your IT department require further assistance from different support levels. Again, if you see that 90% of all the service requests are sent to the support level number 2, to the R&D, it means that your technicians are not doing a good work. Your first level not doing a good work. You have to train them. You have to close the service request in the first support level. Okay. So those are the first layer measurement tools, and we have other one, which is the satisfaction survey, which is a very, very important, and also the due dates. Talk about them. Satisfaction survey actually is also a small module in STEM. And survey talks about something very simple. You can be the best technical person in your company, solve all the problems that are assigned to you, and you don't have any requests that you don't know how to close, but the service that you're actually providing is not so nice. That means you're not so polite to the end users. You don't answer all the phones. That means the service not necessarily is okay. It works, but let's move on. You don't need anything more. The survey gives a chance to measure, okay, quality of service actually providing to the end itself. Okay, why is important? Because first of all, it gives you a channel from admin to the end user. We want to know in order to, of course, improve. Maybe the time response for a service request is not comfortable for the users, or the working hours that the IT department is working is not convenient from the end users. Okay, so all the things that you want your end users to say, okay, and to be part of, they can do it from the survey. Okay, and what is interesting about it is that if we go again here to the module of survey, we can open the survey module and see any and create any question that you want. Okay, the survey actually is done by questions. Okay, you want to give the end user an interface in which it will be easier for him and quick for him to answer a specific question. Okay, it comes with a brief question in which trigger. Okay? How do you rate the quality of service you receive from this service request, which is actually and this service request, this survey, will be linked when you receive a link when a service request has moved to close. So when a service request moves to close, the end user will receive a notification that thank you for the patience, your service request has been closed and the problem was solved, and also take a minute to answer our small survey. Okay, we'll talk in next session about how to customize the text, of course, but if you want to trigger the survey, you have to go to service desk, and service desk have to go to service desk. Let me put it again. Under service desk, you have to go to service desk settings, and you have to trigger from the service desk setting the survey. Here, email notifications to the end user when status change to close, and also add link to a survey which will be sent only with the close incident notifications. Okay, that means that in that case, you can see that when the service request change close, a link to server will be automatically triggered. So let's go again to the survey and try to see how we can create and customize our query. It comes pretty fine with one question, okay? If I click in here, I can change the question, okay? Or I can disable or enable the question only by one click, okay? You know what? Let's go back and let's try to create a new one. No, discuss changes, and I'll add a new question. How would you rate the sympathy? That's how you write sympathy? No, it's sympathy. Why? Of the IT technician. The first one will be not nice at all. Add fair, add, and very, very nice, and knowledgeable, for example. Very, very nice. He was very on the phone. Okay, I finish and I enable the question. Okay, now we have another options here, which are display comments. Now I can give you some tips to have a good survey. The first one of them, and the most important, is display the comments. Give them a chance to write any free text that they want. Okay, give them the chance to write their thoughts. Okay, because not necessarily what is reflected from the question, the answers, is what things. Sometimes you see, yeah, very nice, but the technician told me this and this was not comfortable. So actually, what really counts, what the end user actually writes. Okay, and most important, you have to encourage, okay, your end users to feel deserving. That way, you know the quality of service that you're providing. How to encourage them? In notification, we have invested our efforts, to in the most professional way try to close the service request. Please find any to answer this small survey, okay? And keep everything simple, okay? The question is very simple and very concise, and also the quantity of answers that you give. Don't give even number of answers, for example, like I did in here, because what they will go, they will play it safe. They'll put fair, okay, fair, medium, convinced, okay. In this case, use even numbers. For example, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 or 2. It was nice or it was not nice, okay. So also that will help you in order to see if you are from the middle down or from the middle up, okay. But most important, even enable the comments for them to be able to write anything they want, and feel free to use the survey. Okay. Now the survey also gives you any. I'll click. Okay. The survey also gives you an important channel from that to the end user. Not necessarily you will use the survey to ask questions of quality service. Use them in order to ask, for example, you implemented a new software and you want to know how the software was. So every service request that is closed, I would like to see the new service request was closed. The new service was closed, and wanted to know if the new, for example, software that we install is helpful. We want us to know what is your thoughts in order to improve. And also, for example, I remember a company that they told us that bought new headsets, okay, for all the support. They bought like 200 headsets from all the employees in the store. So every service request that closed, they sent to the end users, to the internal customer support. We think about the headsets. Okay, they are comfortable, they're good. Would you prefer to use them or use other ones? Okay, so it's a channel between the end user and the admins themselves. Okay, so think about the service that you put, but don't abuse, okay, the survey. Okay, enable it and disable it from time to time, because otherwise the end user will put it automatically. They will know that the service request is closed, and it will say fair, and they will close the service request. Change the questions from one time to another to not be from one time to other to not actually be exactly the same, and they already know. And okay, that is a good way to make them part and to make them feel that you have another person on the other side which cares and hears. And of course, going to the service request, implement, okay, or send an email. Thank you for your Westfield, and so on and forth. Can I get a raise of hands before we go to break to know that you are in the other side? Beautiful, you're hearing, you're in the other side. We'll take a 5 minutes break, even a little bit more, until 8:05. I will leave the screen here sharing, so you can see here the clock down here. 8:05. We'll be back. You know the drill. Go drink some water, refresh yourselves, and continue with more measurement tools. Okay, guys, we're back. We are back. Seeing the questions that you're asking regarding the logistics, okay, about the course itself. Now, the Sysaid certification 16, okay, the web page requires a username and a password. You've received it via email, the user and the password. The ones that the payment was performed and it was confirmed, then you receive the password, the credentials automatically. If you haven't yet received the credentials to connect, please send me an email directly as soon as possible in order for us to send you and add to the final project and so on and so forth. The final project, okay, it covers all of the sessions. That means we don't have homework after each session, okay? The final project will finish until the 11th of June, okay, will have to be presented. It covers everything that we talk over the course, okay? In order to be certified, you have to finish the final project, okay? So you can do it, you can start it today, start it tomorrow, you can start any way that is comfortable for you, but know that you will have presented in the 11th of June, okay? Problems with the sound, okay? We have sometimes people which are experiencing different. When can we expect the final project environment to be available? You can download it from the certification page, okay? If you haven't received the link for the certification page in here, you can see here that if you go here to download final project, and here, from here you download the final project. It's a PDF file. And if you have sound problems, then it's between the internet connection. We have a small, some students, okay, that have problems. The best way to solve it is see the recorded, of the recording of the session that will be up next Sunday of the session 4, like this. We see here the first part and the second part of the third session. Okay. Okay. Continue with the same. We talked about the survey, and I know you're asking yourself. Where the survey actually. Where can I see the results of the survey? We'll talk about in a minute. But before, we'll talk about another nice first layer measurement tool, which is called due dates. Okay, due dates are something that you can see the settings, which automatically or manually you can set expectations for the time of a specific resolution. The main tip here is to set realistic due dates. Okay, for example, for problems regarding ERP, for two service desk settings, we have a tab called due dates. Okay, now the due dates are specific due dates in which we select a specific time solve a specific problem. For example, we can select that the ERP problems will be solved in 2 hours. For example, the category ERP, everything that is ERP will be solved in 2 hours. Okay. Will be solved in 2 hours, and that gives an expectation the end user what problem will be solved. And that is another important thing when we talk about setting a language between the admin and the end user. The main key here is to set realistic times in which you can solve the problem. You know how much time? Add another hour. Okay, add another hour. That will give you more buffer in order to understand. Now. The service requests are coming like this from top to bottom. So in this case, if all categories in here for 4 hours and ERP 2 hours, then you will see that for an ERP, service request will be 4 hours, okay? Because actually the first criteria that is met, which is 4 hours. If you put the 4 hours after the ERP, then first it will take the ERP and then it will take for all the categories. Let me tell you a story. In Argentina, I'm natively from Argentina. We have a restaurant there, which it's funny. You go and you have different menus. Okay? You have the 5-minute menu, you have the 10-minute menu, and you have the 30-minute menu. So you can select according to how much time you have, what you want to eat. The 5 minutes, small things that get reheated. The 3 minutes are, different dishes that are more complex to prepare and they take more time. So you go and you already know how much time to expect, okay, in order to eat. So in this case, it's the same. How much time do you have to expect to solve a specific problem? That gives a good set of expectations. My tip from me to you is to always have in the bottom, for all categories, all agreements, all subcategories, for everything, all urgencies, all priorities, 4 hours, okay? In this case, 4 hours, that will give you a wild card, okay, that for every service request which doesn't have a specific category, for example, other ones which are not ERP, you always will have expectation time of 4 hours. In this case, I gave 4 hours, but it can be even more. Okay, so in that case, if you add a new category to the system, you add a new service that your IT department is doing, and you put a service request, and you forgot to add in due dates the specific time to be expected, then you will know that never mind what happened for all categories, and everything will be 4 hours. So 4 hours will be shown. Okay, very important to have expectations. Okay? Set realistic due dates. It's better to set a lengthier, that means a longer due date that you can commit to, rather than make promises you can't keep. Okay, not necessarily we are talking about having everything quick and tell them that your IT department is very quick. Give things that you can actually commit to. Okay, that's important. I can commit to give you hours if I finish it in 2 hours, but you know you send in your expectation times. Now we have another measurement tool that also will help regarding the due dates. And other thing before I forget, due dates are very related to the operating times. What are the operating times? Operating times are the place in which you can configure the operating hours of your IT department. For example, we have here goal, or we have the default operating times, in which the system knows that every day you work from 6 a.m., 6:45 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and from 3 p.m. until 10:15 p.m. In this case, we have 2 shifts, and we have an hour break between them. Why is important? Because you have a specific duty, I think we talked about, of, for example, 4 hours, and you receive the service request at 9:15 p.m., that means you have only another hour to finish the day, then the due date will stop, the count will stop, and it will continue the next day at 6:45. That means that if you receive at 9:15, then it will finish at 9:45 a.m. That means 1 hour in the evening and another 3 hours in the morning. So it's important to set in Sysaid the range in which the service level agreements you have expectations. Not only for days, but for dates. Not only for hours only, but also for days. For example, no one works in the Memorial Day. No one works in Christmas. Okay, so you have to put that, for example, here in Christmas, New Year's and stuff. Every SLA or the departments are in vacation. Even if you have a new vacation, okay, for IT department, you send in the news that you have a vacation and you put the date, so all the dates and all the due dates would actually stop. So important to set range, and then according to that, set the dues. Now we'll move to another measure tool, which is from second level, which is timers. Timers are also counters, but they count time. Now, time what? That's actually what you select. You want to count how many time a specific service request was from a specific state to another. I want to know how much time it took to change the status new to open. That's how much my dispatching is working. I want to know how much time from new until close. How much time it takes average to close a specific service request. And in that case, you can set goals for service quality improvement, and according to that, specific SLA, okay, service level agreement. Now, how your SLAs, your level agreement, or your expectations might be selected according to checking the timers. If I go to timers here under service settings, I can see that default comes with 2 counters: time to repair, time to respond. Okay, time to repair means I want to know how much time passes from the status is not closed, is not status verified closed, and is not delete, and the service request is incident. That means every time the status is open. I want to know how much time it takes to repair every time that the service is not closed and is not deleted and is incident. Time to respond. I want to know how much time passes between the status is new and the service request is ended. How much time it takes while it's new. Another one, this I created. How much time is assigned to purchasing? How much time takes the purchasing to bring us a service request that we assign? How much time it takes from one point to another? We can even create a specific timer. How much time the service request let me open it again. How much time a service request was assigned to a specific person. No, how much the service request had a group, had a specific group. Let me see. We'll see here the level of groups. How much time is incurred? Port level is in 1. I want to know how much time it takes for the service request. But in support 2, how much time the service request when we assign it to R&D, how much time it takes for R&D until they time in R&D. Time in R&D. Okay, so I can say in this case here I have timers. 3 different counters all the time, 4 different counters all the time are running. I've created a new one which is a counter. I want to know how much time a specific service request is in support level number 2. In this case in Sysaid is in R&D. How much time it takes for them. Maybe I have to assign more R&D on-call technicians or engineers that will be more accessible to support instead of developing new tools. Or okay, how can I see the different timer? If I go to the incident, for example, in this, I go to Customize View, and here I can select from the available columns the different timers. Time in R&D, I just created. Time to repair, time to respond, and in purchasing. Right, we had one called in purchasing. There you go. We move all of them here. We click Save, and we trigger them. So in this case, see that purchasing, none of them was actually in purchasing. None of them was also in the R&D. Okay, let's see that all of them were closed in. If you click all, let me see if in all the we have a different list. Okay, never mind. We can see here that, for example, no one of them was 0 minutes in purchasing, 0 minutes in R&D in support level number 2, and time to repair 3,558 hours, not minutes, hours. That means that I can think about how much time the service was here since 2011. This is our test lab. Of course, no one works. Those are not real customers for Sysaid, of course. And it takes to repair all of this time, these counters. Okay, let's see the. We have here a new one which we created, which is 1 hour and 1 minute. Just 1 hour 1 minute past because it was opened today, 17th at 11:18. The time the system is different. And time to respond. How much time it took me to respond? In this case, all of them are new. If I click here in Open, then we automatically place the category. In this case, are just dummy service requests. Okay, let me see if all the required. No, third of category. Just select it again. And exactly this time, just stopped. Which stopped the counter of time to respond. Okay, that means that will stay in here. The time to repair will increase, but the time to respond will all time be increasing. For example, it took a second, even nothing, to set the service request to open when I respond to the service request, but it took me 871 to repair. That means I haven't moved it to close. If I want to change the calendar to close, then I will go and I will change the status to close. Okay. So in this case, yes. So in this case, oh, thank you. So in this case, the counter for time to repair was actually stopped we have a feature of status in here. We can see here that we have status active, only active status which are new and open, but the counter was actually finished. So in this case, you can see the different times, and it helps a lot. You have no idea how much it helps when trying to calculate how much time it takes to do specific things. If I go to counters, to timers again in service desk settings, you can see that we give you a place to create 10 timers. Go here to timers. We give a place to create 10 timers. Now, for performance reasons, we recommend not to create more than 10. When you create 10, every timer to specify a very specific, be concise what you want to do. Not, for example, timers that I know every time that is open and open, every time that is new, okay, is the age. That means for specific things. So think about it. The buffer of in all the traffic coming around, you have all the timers all the time triggering a counter, and a counter, and a counter, and a counter. Now, it will, I don't know if it even will change your performance, but you have to know that it's something that all the time trigger for every new request. And in a counter that all the time is counting and counting and counting. If you put 10 counters, then every new service request will automatically trigger more than all the internal algorithm. It trigger another 10 small counters. So try to be concise and precise about what you see, what you want. For example, create for level in 2. Okay. For example, I can put here or in assigned to purchasing instead of assigned to purchasing. I want to know every time that is assigned to purchasing. Don't put every time that is not assigned to purchasing, because that will mean that we'll have to count in all states, all statuses, all the groups which are not purchasing. We'll look for more things. So try to be precise, okay? Every time that the status, the current level is not 2, that means that you have 10 levels, then it will change. It will try check 9 times, okay? 9 different counters all the time. So that's why we select specific. It was going to specific things, okay? If you talk about measurements, one of the most common tools that every, not even IT or help desk, okay, every application has is reports, okay? The reports, if you understand, of course, where you stand and try to analyze and give you information, statistic information from today and previous years and so on and so forth. We have here a very nice reporting mechanism in which we can see different and interesting reports that I can show you. Here is called Analyzer. Okay, if you Analyzer in here, we see that we have a tree of reports which are divided in categories. Help desk regarding the service request, inventory regarding assets, task project, for example, that we saw, highest value reports, past services, and your module. And you can create, as you can see here, we can create any report that you want. I'll show you in a minute how to create reports. What we have here interesting, if I go to help desk, I can see workload or service quality. Under service quality, we'll see all the surveys that are actually answered. If you see here that we have satisfaction level by administrator, we'll see the satisfaction level according to the group by administrator. So here we have a small place in which you can tweak a little bit the report. We can see only for specific companies. We can have a filter, for example, only people from only people from purchasing department. See only from the purchasing. From date to date, okay. Date range from only from yesterday till today, or from today until tomorrow. Tomorrow in this case we don't have. So show comment details. This actually triggers if you have a free tag that we selected that we enabled from the survey side. Remember the checkbox. So here we have to check to see in the report the survey survey text that they enter. If you don't have it, then you see only statistical data. That means only the answers. Output format, PDF, Excel, any other format that you want. And the action to be performed, if you can schedule them, you want to view them now, you want to save the parameters to my report. So if I click submit, let me see if we have even data here that someone even answered. And let's try to together trigger the report. Okay, so this actually page you'll see in every report that you can tweak, schedule, or select. For example, me every report, I want to know every morning when I come, for example, how many first level service requests I have. So when I come in the morning every Sunday, it needs to work from Sunday to Thursday. They would think you're crazy working on Sundays. Israel will work on Sundays, but don't work on Fridays. And we have, I have a specific report which says, no data. In this case, we don't have information regarding the specific report. Let me see. In the case we have satisfaction level, then you will see the report in order to know the results from the survey, the service quality. I don't think that in this test system, no data found. We don't have draft for reports. Workload, okay? Workload. We can see here a report called what interesting report we have in here. Open closed request distribution, okay? Open closed request distribution. We can see in here a report. Okay, let's run it. And we can see here, according to a distribution of time, according to a graph distribution of time, we can see here how many service requests were open. For example, we can see here that at 12 o'clock, 3 service requests were open and other 2 service requests were closed. Okay, so first of all, we can see that we're not having a good ratio because we have 7 services open and 2 that were closed. Okay, so in our day, we're not doing a good work. We have a deficit of quantity of service requests that are open and closed. This idea gives, according to the working hours, okay, we'll see here that around 11 and 12, we have a higher traffic service requests. Okay, usually, if you'll see a normal state, you'll see that in the morning, all the service requests from 7 to 10 are open. For example, for my password, or I have them here, or I cannot start my working day because I have a problem. So according to that, you can see how you can administrate your resets. For example, if here in Sysaid we have our support level divided into different teams and 2 different shifts according to what is the workload of the service requests. Okay, so from every service request you can analyze, you can analyze the information from it. If you want more information about measurement, also we have our expert, our VP of Customer Relations, Sarit, which last month she was with us in the webinar, so you can enter into our YouTube channel, the Sysaid YouTube channel, and see the webinar from last month, April. Okay, that sheets about how to analyze reports and a very interesting topic regarding measurements. What else we have here that we can see in the reports? Also interesting. Let's move to inventory. For example, assets, software and hardware inventory. I want to know how many computers I have, how many softwares I have. You can see in here that I have 17 printers, 3 laptops, and 1 DHCP server. Thank you very much. What we have here, asset asset details, inventory overview. Let's run the inventory overview. I recommend you to run all reports to see there are people that link specific reports more than according to what the information that they can gather. We have a lot of different reports that you can run and you can create. We have here another important and interesting report, which is called assets that were not updated. Okay, as you know, when you implement Sysaid and you form the discovery and the deployment, agents are installed in more computers. So every 30 seconds, they're running up service. Every 30 seconds, they send a keep alive to the system. So you not know, at least you don't have a monitoring rule applied to it. Which reminds me that if you want to know about monitoring, we talked about it yesterday in the webinar. We had a webinar today with Joseph Sargari, our expert, our technical expert in Sysaid. So you can also see it in our YouTube channel. To know all assets that the agent didn't update. Okay, this is, for example, we see here that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these assets the agents didn't update to the server. That means that all of them, the agent is down, or the computers are down. It's not actually giving any information. So because you don't have another way of knowing, okay, if the HR, maybe when you open a remote control and you actually see that remote control is not working, or the end user sees that the end user is not working or he cannot send service requests. So this is a very good and important report to have scheduled, okay, at the end every day or once a week to know if you have assets which aren't responding to the server, to know why, and so on and so forth. And then you can have task managers to see all the tasks that you have. You can play with it and yeah, into your system, run the reports. Okay, everything will running all the reports will give you good information about. Will give you information about what is happening in the system. And other thing, also to design reports, we have the manager portal. The manager portal is a place in which you can more visualize, okay, a measurement tool that you can more understand if you go here to the manager portal. Okay, this is one of the most common pages in Sysaid, the manager portal. Even the landing page, okay, the place in which you enter and you log into the system, because at the first glance you can visualize and see how your system is actually doing. We have predefined views in here and graph. For example, I can service desk over, which are our best practice and recommendations. What is the best to see? For example, active service requests. We have almost 100 active service requests, 91 service requests. So at the first glance, you can see how many active service requests you have. You can see here service request overview. From 91, 4 are for purchasing, 3 are for ERP, 2 are 30, basic software are 9, 6, 7. Even click in here and open the in full graph, okay, to see all of them. Okay, and we can here again go back to the dashboard itself. Active service requests, we have here that we have exactly the same graphic in which we can change, okay, we design our dashboard. And here are active service requests. This gives us information, some information. What? Nothing in this case. So maybe we have a specific filter, active request for a specific filter, in which we have 2 service requests. So the filter will be for we have a specific filter which is actually being paid right now, and we have 2 requests, which is old. Okay. So you can first of all change the views, okay, that you want to see, predefined views, so we can create views. Project management, if you care about project and task, service desk workloads, the service desk workloads we have in here, different graphs. We have assets, we have Joseph Sargari is the top 1 end user, the one that sends the most quantity of service requests. 2 top administrators we have in Sysaid, 2 admins, and we have service requests overview. This is something that we have here: high, low, urgent, normal, and very high. We have 1 high, 6 low, and high we have 10. So we have predefined views. Even if I go to design dashboard, in here you can see that you can select the 4 parts of the dashboard. Okay, and for example, I want to change the first one. So I click in the first one and select one what I want to see. For example, to see the inventory, all service requests by month. Okay, I don't know here by month, so I can see here that 0, no, is not good. You can see here operating system, open service request, active service request are all the active ones, we know it. Highest project values, next date, SLA current grade. Okay, you select different things from here. Each one of them will have different graphics. Now, everyone will set everything what he wants. Okay, he wants to see is important for him. Let's see. We can select the title for it, for the chart, and we can select for any agreement. And even if we go to active service requests, then we can select their incidents with ITIL, and you can send here the different colors. Warning is 10. You can see here it changes from green to the red. 200, 300, and 500 is the maximum. So the colors change, as you can see here, that are in the green. Okay, you visualize and create an expression view. For example, I want to know all the active service requests which are only assigned to Joseph Sargari. So the filter, we see here that we submit, and we see here that we have 68. Only 68 of them are assigned to Joseph Sargari. So you can create your dashboard the way that you want. Okay, the way that you want. You can change with them. You can open in here again, see and you can move between them. Okay, so it's actually a good graphical way to the reports. What else we have in here? If it reports, we have access to the report from here, not from the analyzer. We see the recent reports that we ran. In here we can see the ones that I just did. My report, you can see here that you can save specific reports. If I go to reports, I can select for the inventory one report, and here output to sorry, my report where was it? The item? No, not in here. Okay, never mind. There's actually nothing. But this is the place in which you create a list of the reports you want to have in order list once you create them. To design a specific report, go here to design report, and we have the report wizard in which you can create from, in this case, 3 steps how to create a report. What will be the caption, for example? Let's put certification course. Okay, and click next, next. And by the way, you will reach Java side of the Java side of the report, which actually can show you all the codes if you want to create a specific Java report. Our recommendation is do it with your support account managers. Okay, contact them, tell them that I want to create a new report. This is my idea. Please help me because this can cause problems. Okay, so work slowly, do it step by step with them. You can enter and try to create a simple report, but do it with your account manager. It will help you to create the report. Our next topic is actually another second level measurement tool, which is the matrix. The matrix actually gives you a lot of information. If I go to the service desk, and more information. For example, dashboard gave you we have 100 service accuracy requests, which is great. We can how many we have. We have more detailed graphics. So we have 5 of them which are for ERP, and 6 of them which are from here to there. Let me try to open the service desk again. And we have here the matrix. Now, the matrix is actually a very powerful tool which can give you, according to different parameters that you have, visualizing a list, okay, more information. We do have visualization from a lower level. This is from a high level. From high level, this is from lower level, okay? For example, I want to know all the service requests that are assigned to, all service requests, vertical were assigned to, and that vertical, the status of them. Please select differential. Okay, so in this case, we can see that assigned to status, all not assigned, Brad Pitt, Holly, Jerry, all of them. This Joseph Sargari has the most service requests assigned to himself. Why? That's a problem. Why, in this case, we see that Paul has 1, Jerry has 8, Brad has 2, and Joseph has 68. Okay, we can see the status in which he has assigned. He has active 68, of course, because he has all 74. A lot. Okay, and they don't have much. So you change, for example, a request user, and which will assign to. You can change the match to see everything that you want. Select from status. For example, I want to know from the horizontal side, I want to know the request user, and vertical side is status. So let me see if this time, let me go to system to see if it works a little bit more faster. Service desk. No, not yet. Matrix. And you have another matrix. The horizontal is the priority. This is the horizontal. We want to see all the priorities. And the vertical are assigned to. We have a sub-vertical, which is status, to give you 2 different filtering options. So, to Joseph, and this, we don't have Joseph. To Brad Pitt, this is another good example. To admin. Admin has 8 active service requests, okay, which are status or in priority all. He has actually all 8 service active requests. He has 3 in high, 4 in low, and 1 in very high. Okay, so you can actually, if you are an IT manager and you want to see how your department actually is doing, what is the traffic of service requests, more detail for every one of the requests, from every one of the service requests of the admins, then the matrix is for you. Okay. Not only that, you can click in here, see all the active requests which are assigned to him. So in that case, you can see the track of information according to this case admins. So you can see that means how much services they are linked, if working correctly, the amount of the active service that he has is normal. You can see the state in the morning and then see the state at night. For example, the horizontal will be status. We have status ready here. Admin has 8. Let me put here. We call the horizontal will be agency. Okay. Let's put category. Category is also nice. You can see here that admin has 3 in AAA, 1 in data center, and in that case you can see if you have different specialities, the IT missions which are different specialities, to see if they are actually your routing or dispatching is actually working correctly. So if you have admin which is a special in ERP, you can see here ERP that has 0. Okay, and you can see that all the others, for example, have a lot of service requests. That means that your routing is not working correctly. Okay, so in this case, the Matrix is a very, very powerful tool. We encourage our customers to use it, and from you have active links, okay, to the list of service requests. Okay, you can see, for example, sub-vertical with the priority. Actually, very good. This is how our department, our IT managers have it. For example, we can see here that admin has 8. One very high in the morning. So if again I can see, for example, if it's the same service request, what happened with why he didn't solve, and have a perspective of what IT department is actually doing, which is great. Another interesting thing about visualizing, if I go to Manager Portal, we can see here that we have the IT benchmark. Now, if I click here in the benchmarks, put it in here, IT benchmark system. IT benchmarks. Now, the IT bench is actually a very nice tool that we've implemented in from 8.5 or from 8.0, remember the version, in which tells that we give you the chance to share your statistical data, your statistical information from your company to our servers. Only statistical data, no personal information coming, only different parameters, different measurements. Why? Because we gather all the information from a lot of different places, and you can compare yourself according to other departments in all the world. Okay. For example, we hear that service request open and close ratio. Current month, the average of all the companies was 6.0. Okay. Last month was 0. The current year was 15% and 13.67. 6 means that for every service request open, on the 6th one, the one is closed. Okay, and you can even see the graphical. You can even see the graphical side of it here. Average service request closed per admin. 1 service request is closed per admin. Okay, that is the average in the current month. In the current year, 3 service requests were open per year. And we have also another here, also information that will be in 9.0 in this case, also in the IT benchmark. The percent of Windows 7 OS installed, 100%. Okay, end user versus admin ratio. We have 2. That means usually we have, this is our test, of course. Current month we have 2 against 2 end users against 1 admin. That means for 2 end users we have 1 admin. 4 end users will have 2 admins. Okay, that's the ratio. Average resolution time of service request, 96 in the last month. Okay, so the IT benchmark gives the chance, if you like statistics, to know and get information from different IT departments in the world. We have a whole data center from a lot of different save and update from a lot of different companies in the world. Now, in order, this is not coming enabled by default. Okay, you'll have to enable it by yourself, but you have to select the industry, because we divide the statistics according to industry, education, or technical, or so on and so forth, in order to the statistic to be more relevant. Okay, of course, an IT department in a school is different from an IT department in a development application company. Okay, it's different. So you know what? Join, play with it. No personal data is being transferred. Only statistical data in order for know and see where you stand. What else? Which other measurement tools we have in here that we have talked about? The IT benchmark. This is a review that I have also in the course book. The chat of your end users on the spot available for one-on-one chat sessions. This is something also that's not so related about the measurement tools, but we want to add it in here in the third session, which is the chat. Let me give you an example of the chat. If I go here to chat, module of chat, new console actually is opened. Okay, and the chat, let's open again. So go in here. Let me see system. The chat. Okay, there. This is the console, which is initial chat user. There you go. Is working. Great. Now, in this case, this is the chat as the admin sees it. In this case, the most important trigger in here is online. If it's offline, then the end user won't be able to send any chat message. For example, if I go to the end user in here, I go to the end user portal, and I'll put here question, leave a message. Then you'll see that currently there are no representatives available to leave your chat. Leave a message, and automatically a new service request will be opened. But if I go to that and I click online, okay, means that automatically with the user that I'm logged in, admin, the chat will actually open. If I click here, then use again, automatic live chat with representatives. So, or know if you have someone in the, and you can click start here, and then send a new chat. Hello. We click send. Hello. And from the admin side, then we have new chat coming, which is actually an alarm. You have to click accept in order to receive the chat, okay? Because you can have different admins connected to the chat, different online admins. In this case, we have me online. I have another one online, John Doe, brilliant admin, and status is actually that user. And in this case, I click accept here, okay? And automatically I can see the click hello, how can I help you? Send, and from the see that works. You are ready. Hello, how can I help you? There you go. And in here, we see here the detail from the end user, which is actually chatting with us. It's actually very, very good. If you want, from here, you see remote control the end user. From here, you can email. You can see the you can send it to a queue. You can change. Okay, you can see the details of the end user. In this case, we have an email, but from here you have one piece in which you can do. You have to open the user management and open the specific user and so on and forth. And service request, you can from here open a new service request. I'll click here new, and from the chat gives you the chance small to open. And already you can see that the submit user, the request user is one that the user that is chatting with you, which is actually great. You can see the IP, and you have here automatic text you can put. Okay, the automatic texts you can figure the automatic texts in here. Go to the admin side and service desk. We have under service desk setting here automatic text. All the automatic text. See, for example, if dear customer, we can create a new one, which will be thank you for chatting with us. That's the name. See you soon. And for visible for everyone. So put save, and then you'll be able to see the different console itself. You open it and you load again the console. Okay. What we have here, we have broadcasts. That will be our last topic. A minute, I'll show you the broadcast. Something very, very simple, which you do from your user management. This is actually the table that we go to asset management, go to online users. From here, you can see here we give you here broadcast message selected user. In this case, we don't have online users currently connected, but you select the user and click here broadcast match, and then you can send a Windows message to the end user that he'll see in a minute. This is actually very good when you have a critical option that you want to perform. You're sending the downtime on a specific user. You're expecting a specific user in your schedule or remote control is not there. You can broadcast a message, hey, how are you there? You're doing the request, and so on and so forth. Okay? We talked today about measurements. We hopefully helped you a little bit more in understanding all different tools. We also touch in the middle just to change the topic a little bit and refresh ourselves about the chat and the broadcast. I highly recommend you to go and see a webinar in our YouTube channel about measurements from last month, so from yesterday, okay, from monitoring event management, which Yossi, Joseph Sarari, as an expert. And any question you have regarding the logistics, you didn't receive the emails, you cannot access the recordings, everything, send email, okay? There's no room for you to wait in order to receive, in order to start working. Hope all of you already started, even do the first question or even to do part of the project, okay? Because we have less than a month now to finish the project. Next session will be session number 5, right? Yeah, session number 5 will be customization. I highly recommend you to be there and to watch it because it's a very interesting session, okay? What else? And questions you may have will be here in the chat connected. For any question you may have the next 5 minutes, and see you Monday, okay? Have a weekend. The recording, everything will be on Sunday, okay? So be patient. We don't work in weekends like you don't work in weekends. So our audio and video personnel experts are actually not here already because it's 9 p.m. in the night. So they'll come Sunday morning. They will go over the rendering and they will have everything set on Sunday. So have a great weekend and thanks for being here, okay? Always.